today I wanted to do a reflection slash review video of the bags that I bought in 2020. I bought 6 bags in 2020, and obviously because of the pandemic I didn't use them as much as I would hope in a regular year when I buy bags like this, but I do still think that I have a good idea of their wear and tear, the features of the bag, and you know, if I recommend them as normal bags to use for normal life when we get out of this. So I think I'm going to start in chronological order, so starting from January 2020 all the way to the end of the year. There is a very new bag that I got on Christmas that I will also show, but obviously I won't do a review of the wear and tear of that one. It won't be more just a review. And throughout the process I will hopefully be telling you what my thoughts were on the bag, you know, if it was comfortable to wear, its capacity, the features, and whether or not I think that it is a good bag to add to your collection if you're thinking about it. Great, so without further ado, I'm going to start with my Coach backpack that I bought in January 2020. So this was before the whole lockdown situation happened. I actually bought this to take with me on a trip to China to see my family. And I got it during the sales, so it was down from £395 I believe to 175 I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I will have the video that I talk about this bag linked in the description box, so you can have a look if you want. This bag has actually fared so well for me. I think my general review of it is that I'm so surprised with the quality of leather of Coach. I mean, I was never a huge Coach fan, but after the whole reimagination, basically they digged up all of their archive things of the classics that used to be huge and redid it. A lot of brands are doing it in late years. I fell in love with Coach as a brand, to be honest. I think the brass hardware that's a bit muted is really nice, and a lot of it goes back to its equestrian roots, which I really love as well. So yeah, this is, I believe, the Parker backpack in 30, and it is a reversible or convertible backpack. So you have a little top handle here, and then there are 2 straps to wear as a backpack on your shoulder, and then you can also unclip, let me just show you, unclip this so that it turns into a shoulder bag like this. The capacity of this bag has been phenomenal. I have just all of my sunglasses stuffed in here at the minute because we just moved, so I have all of like the storage things in here as kind of my everyday bag. And then the turn lock and the hardware and everything for a year of constant use, I would say. Not constant as in every week, but definitely once or twice a month, with, you know, everything permitting. I just feel like it was just such a handy bag, especially for travel in China. I used this bag for 2 weeks straight when I was in China, and you know, shoving it under planes, putting it under compartments and everything like that. I think it's just done really well. The leather, I have had a few questions about this, does scratch a little bit just because of the smooth texture of it, but I think this is intentional. I don't really think that this bag made in this leather was meant to look pristine. I do personally think that it looks quite nice with some characters kind of marked on it, but definitely that is something to keep in mind if this is something that you know you would be wary of. The only thing that I would say that is semi-annoying about this bag is that because these chains are like quite free-flowing, as you can see here, when you put it on your back, the strap, you can see already, it lengthens completely. So then when you put your other shoulder through the bag, it's a little bit off-centered, if that makes sense. So you do kind of have to like wiggle yourself or wiggle the bag so that it is even on both shoulders. Otherwise you'll probably feel more pressure on one shoulder as opposed to the other. And then the other thing is that the turn lock doesn't actually close that well when the bag is empty, because you just need to like really stuff it down to have the fronts of it match up like this. You can already see it's a bit difficult because the top isn't aligned. So you can see that the bottom over here needs to be completely aligned. And then what I do honestly is I tilt the bag forward a little bit so that this part, this leather part, puffs out, so then it fits into the lock perfectly. Otherwise you're probably gonna have to press it down really hard and lock it. So yeah, I really do love this bag. I think this was such great value for money. I think for £175 you have the look of a very classic bag. The silhouette is really minimal. It's not really intrusive. It's just kind of there to serve you as an everyday function really. And the versatility of it being a backpack and a shoulder bag, and maybe also even a crossbody bag if you don't mind the chain being quite long, is just amazing to me. I think this is hands down a great travel bag. I would take this with me on all of my trips moving forward. I think especially when I need to be hands-free, or at least just to the airport, just because this is so handy. And the back pocket, perfect for your phone, wallet, and passport. So yeah, this is the Parker 30, and that was the first bag that I bought in January 2020. And then the next bag that I bought was in March 2020, and this is hands down my favorite bag that I bought in 2020, maybe ever as well. And it probably won't come as a surprise to you if you've seen that video, but I just rave on and on about it, and I can probably go on again for another 17 minutes talking about how much I love this bag, but I won't. It is my Loewe puzzle bag in the caramel color. I believe that's what the website says. It's a bit yellow right now, or just a bit brown, because I do have a tungsten light over there. Otherwise I would be completely backlit. But this bag I love so much. I got it in the grainy leather over here, as you can see, with the gold hardware, and it is the new version without the feet on the bottom. And everything about this bag that I talked about back in March when I first got this bag still rings true to me. I just believe that every time I wear this bag I feel elevated myself. It just makes me feel really good. And I think that is kind of what you're trying to get out of a really expensive bag that you're buying. I think it's just that you want a wearer's satisfaction almost. And everything that I've said about this bag in terms of the attention detail, the design of it, the usability, the wearability, everything has been amazing, and it really does go with everything. I think this color, even the smooth leather with the silver hardware, I believe the leather is slightly cooler toned, I believe, but both shades of brown to me is just perfect. I cannot fault this bag at all. I just love it so much. You can see that over, you know, almost 11 months of use that it has caved a little bit on the top here. I think this is definitely a natural thing that happens to puzzle bags. A lot of them do this, or maybe all of them do this once you wear them quite a bit. And I did get a chance to wear this on a trip to Portugal in August when everything opened up again for a little bit, and I wore it for 14 days straight, and it has fared completely fine. I know that there are some concerns about the pebbled leather showing wear a little bit more, and I will agree to this to an extent. Not that it shows scratches or anything, I just don't think that it does, but it will flatten in the area that you contact your body the most. So I'm only really talking about these three nodes over here. You can see that it has flattened out a little bit, but to me it really doesn't matter, just because, you know, it's physics, even though I suck at physics. If you press on something a lot, if the texture isn't already flat and smooth, it will cave in a little bit. This isn't something that can be prevented, I don't think. And because it's at the back of the bag and it's so tiny, I think they've done such a good job in placing it right at the end of the zipper, so that you're not kind of like wearing it here or flattening it here or anywhere else. It's just these three little dotty corners. I just think this bag is just amazing, and whichever option you go for, I mean, I would personally choose the gold hardware, obviously, because I went for it, because I love the earthy tones. I think it just finishes it out very well, but I do think that the smooth leather with the silver hardware is just a tad bit more edgy and cool. So it really just depends on what you think. But the features of the bag, sorry, again, see, like I just go on a tangent. This is the zipper. This is actually great for face masks for nowadays, because I actually keep all my face masks here when I wear this bag exclusively, just to keep like dirt and germs and stuff away. And then what I was talking about with the flap, I'll do actually an in-depth review of like the features of the bag in a separate video, but it has fared really well. The light cotton lining hasn't shown any sort of wear or dirt marks or anything. I think it actually really hides dirt well, just because of the herringbone pattern of the inside over here. It really just does hide it quite well. It just looks like it's part of the pattern. And yeah, it's just one big pocket with a side slip pocket in the back, and then a side pocket over here, and obviously a crossbody strap. And the crossbody strap is very adjustable. So yeah, this is the second bag that I bought in 2020 and definitely hands down my favorite bag that I bought of the year / ever. Great. After that, after the puzzle bag, I bought a bit of a fun purchase and a bit of a controversial one. I think I've seen this on kind of bag forums of people just laughing at it, which is just, I mean, I see where they're coming from, but I personally really love it. And it is my potato, which is the Bottega Veneta paper pouch. Now, some websites are a bit confusing about this. Some will say that it's 100% leather. It's not. It's actually waxed craft paper. So it says it's waterproof, but I still won't take it out in the rain. This is basically kind of my evening date night or maybe brunch in a nice weather when we can go back to restaurants again kind of bag. It doesn't fit my phone, and I have an iPhone 7 Plus. And if you look at the dimensions, it probably should fit it, but I'll just show you how it works. Because of these two rivets inside that's completely fixed, it's like either a metal piece or something really hard that's sewn in, it just doesn't go in, you know. So this is one of those kind of annoying bags that you have to hold your phone in your hand or put in your pocket. But other than that, lots of things fit in here. My wallet fits in here fine, but I have a card holder, sorry. My card holder fits in it fine. My hand sanitizer, band-aids, hair tie. I have like a little customer person card in here as well. And I love this bag. I have to say, it's definitely not one of my more used bags, just because of the nature of the materials and, you know, what it looks like, and the fact that it doesn't fit my phone. I won't take this out shopping or anything, but it does feel to me such a special bag. And I did also do a video on this, and I was saying, and I still do believe that it's true, like, this is my fun bag. Like, I have a lot of fun when I wear this. I love pairing outfits with it and having this as an added texture, just because of how it looks like over here in your hands as well. It just looks quite different, and I love that about it. And these straps, it is true to all the Bottega pouch bags, where you can adjust it by tying knots into the leather strap, and this won't damage the leather strap at all. The sales associate said that it's completely fine. And other than, you know, these two knots, it gets actually quite long. But I like wearing it just like on my shoulder or just crossbody, and then it sits quite high up like here, which I really, really love. In the real life and moving forward, I do still think that this will be my special bag. Is it a useful everyday bag? Absolutely not. But is it just a fun piece that's in your wardrobe that you kind of look at and you kind of chuckle? Absolutely. I love it. Definitely, you know, if you're looking at this bag, I recommend it. But if you're looking for a fun bag, definitely find something that you find fun yourself. Don't just go for like whatever people are saying that it's fun. But yeah, I think it is just a very personal thing. I would say that the craftsmanship is quite amazing. Like, that's the one thing that I was scared about with a paper pouch, is that there would be cracks or like something in the paper once it gets exposed to the elements, and I haven't had any of those experiences at all. And inside, it's actually lined in full leather, so it's not really, I don't think it's a cop-out in quality in terms of that. I think it's just a fun piece using interesting materials. So I do like this bag. It's not very useful, but it's very fun, and I really love it. So this was the third bag that I bought, I think in April/May time of 2020. And then in August, around my birthday, yeah, this was my birthday bag that I bought myself, is this little Prada under the shoulder, like this crook of your arm kind of bag. This is, I think, called the bowling bag, and I originally wanted the Prada re-edition 2005, I believe, with the fabric strap, but I was just thinking for a few, I think it was like 200 pounds more. I wanted the leather trimming, I wanted the leather strap, and I really love the fact that you can undo this hook completely. So then it just turns into a little pouch, and then your strap is essentially interchangeable. So you basically get maybe 2 bags in one. That's kind of how I justified it. I was surprised at how much I love this bag. To be honest, when I bought it, again, I'm not really learning from things that I learned before in my luxury regrets video, but when I was buying this, I was even thinking, oh, maybe it's just gonna be like a fun bag that I use occasionally, which is quite poor judgment, I think, on my part when I was even buying the bag. But this has surprised me so much. It fits an absolute ton. It's so comfortable to wear because of the strap drop. It's not up against your armpit that it's slightly uncomfortable and you can't wear, you know, a sweater or anything under it. You can actually wear quite thick jumpers, even bat wings one would be fine. And because of the positioning here, you can actually quite easily squeeze your hand down so that the straps don't move down, is what I'm trying to say. And because of the amount that it fits, I've used this so much for grocery shopping, for walks, for things like that. That's like a little bit of like a pop in and out situation. And I found this so useful, especially with the nylon material during rainy days in London, which we experience quite a few times, as you know. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, the biggest surprise for me for 2020. I just didn't expect to use it and love it so much. I'm not particularly a shoulder bag person, so I just thought, you know, I needed something small so that I can use it occasionally. But what I didn't realize is that the strap is so comfortable that maybe I can turn into a shoulder bag person. I don't know, but I really, really like this. And it is kind of like a bowling bag or half moon shape, and the hardware really sounds amazing. It just feels like very good quality, and the lining inside is the typical Prada logo print, as you can see right here, and then it has a zipped back pocket, and then the rest of it is just kind of a pit. It is a bit narrow, you can see over here, so it won't fit bulkier items like a water bottle or an umbrella, but for everything that's like a card holder, your phone, headphones, hand sanitizer, sunglasses, everything like that, that would fit. But anything that's, you know, a bit bulkier, it won't fit in just because of the narrow thing. But obviously because of the material, you can afford to stretch it out a little bit if you so wish. So yeah, this has been quite a good purchase, I would say. It's not like something that I'm extremely excited about, but I'm surprised about by how much I got use out of it and how much I enjoy wearing it. The last thing that I bought before the holiday season began, essentially, was my vintage Louis Vuitton Ellipse bag, which is here. I love her so much. I think she's just one of those things where I don't think I would use it too much. Actually, no, I have used her a lot. Like, I really enjoy holding her in the crook of my arm. I just feel like a different person, you know, when I use a bag with a slightly different style that's not crossbody or a backpack. I just feel like a little bit more put together, I guess, with it. And I explained when I bought it that I wanted something that was vintage. I wanted really classic Louis Vuitton that I grew up looking at. My mom was really into Louis Vuitton, so I kind of just grew up around the notion of it. So I just thought I wanted to get something to commemorate that. And I wanted something with a very thick canvas, as you can hear here. And I wanted something that would make this noise. And that noise is just quite nostalgic to me, just because, you know, my mom, when she would use her Speedy bag, it would just make this kind of noise. So I just kind of wanted a memorabilia, to be honest. And I always really loved this kind of clamshell shape. I just thought that it was so unique and feminine and cool, and I thought it would really offset my more androgynous looks. Sometimes I really enjoy wearing kind of like men's look trousers and like shirts and things like that, and I thought with this bag at the crook of my arm, it would kind of offset everything and add a little bit of interest, and it has done exactly that for me. And I have really loved using this bag. It's obviously a vintage piece, so there's some wear and tear, and definitely the patina has gone really honey brown, almost to a brown color. But, you know, it is actually such a massive hole. I still have some stuff in it. I don't clear out my bags as often as I would say I'd like to. And it is just one giant hole, and then a little tiny slip pocket. I'm assuming either for your lipstick, or around the time this was launched, I think it was 2000s or something, your phone might have fit in there. So it is actually just a crook of the arm bag, even though it has these little D-rings where you can attach straps to, but the strap doesn't come with the bag for the smaller sizes. But because I have a Speedy in the Damier Bean, I just use this strap as a shoulder strap for when I actually want to go out, but I don't actually leave it on the bag. I don't think it goes too well, but I'll still use it anyway. Really do love it. I think even, you know, in the real normal life, I would still definitely use it. And, you know, I think this would be an amazing kind of brunch, dinner, again, that kind of bag. But obviously I don't think it would be that useful for shopping if you prefer to be hands-free. Like, I really like to be hands-free, so I could be like at the rails in the shops. But, you know, if you are okay with that, then this bag would be amazing for shopping too, just because of the capacity. So yeah, this is my fifth and last bag that I purchased. And then the other bag that it was a new addition to my collection is another secondhand, but this was new with tags bag that my boyfriend bought me for Christmas, and I actually only used it once. I used it to go to B&Q to get fencing for our little puppy, because we got a little puppy, and I loved it, and I've been wanting it actually for 2 years now, I think, but I ummed and ahed when it first came out, and then obviously because it's not a designer, it's not like Saint Laurent or Louis Vuitton or anything like that. This is from Wovenler, and it's called a Yara bag in the weaved pattern, so it's half weaved and half leather. Because it's more of a contemporary brand, I guess, it didn't have a lot of stock. After it went out of stock, it just kind of disappeared, and I always kind of was thinking about this, and then I saw it on Vestiaire, I think during Black Friday. It was like super cheap. I think this originally retails for like £875, which was just a bit eye-watering for me, especially for a brand that I didn't really know about and isn't as luxury as the luxury brands that I'm used to are. So I just wasn't willing to pay that amount of money, to be honest. And when this came on sale on Vestiaire for around £200, I think, I was just like, ooh. And then my boyfriend said that he would buy it for me. So this was my Christmas present for 2020, and I absolutely love it. Actually, the quality of leather feels really good everywhere where there is parts of leather. However, the one thing I would say is it smells a bit like it smells like a shoe shop. Essentially, it just smells like a shoe shop in here, but not really like a luxury shoe shop. Like, there's a difference in the way this smells and the way this smells. I think the leather smells on this is a little bit more pungent than the other bags that I have, and I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it's just something to note, really. And it has dual zippers like this, and it can go in so that it's just one giant hole. Again, there's actually no slip pocket. Actually, no, there is. I lied. Oh wow, there's a zip pocket in here that you can put your things in, and then yeah, it's just one giant hole, and there's a small zip pocket at the back over here, which doesn't really fit anything, to be honest, but it will, I think, definitely fit a face mask or your Oyster card or something, or a credit card or something like that. So yeah, there are two ways to wear it. On the top handle like this, so you can wear it like on the crook of your arm, definitely not shoulder, because, you know, armpit struggles. And then the other one will be a very short length shoulder bag, so like almost kind of like a bum bag situation, or a shoulder bag like this, which then sits around here. So this is another one of those things that it's a bit more unique, and I think it adds a bit of interest and texture again to outfits. I think I'm just because I'm not very adventurous when it comes to colors, so I just tend to stick to textures as like my way of venturing out, I guess. And yeah, so this was my 6th bag. I can't really say anything about the quality, but again, with the details, this has like a round ring over here and then a long oval ring right here, which I found it really interesting and reminded me of the puzzle bag as well, which I really loved about it. So I'll kind of use this for a bit and then see to Wovenler's quality. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that, but I think, you know, as a more contemporary brand that still has quite high prices, I just want to see if it's worth it or not. So I'll use it for a bit and let you guys know. Great, I think that was everything. So 6 bags that I bought in 2020. Each one of them I still do really love. It has been quite a good bag year, I think, for me, just because I'm taking a little bit more risks, I guess, in terms of things that I buy. When I was in the beginning of kind of collecting bags and getting into bags, a lot of the times when I purchase bags, I would think, well, I get wear out of this every day. And, you know, after a while of collecting bags, you end up with 10 bags that you would technically use every day. So I thought that, you know, after a while, I kind of wanted to venture out a little bit and have some fun with it. So that's how my paper pouch bag came along, that's how the Louis Vuitton Ellipse came along, and that's how the Wovenler bag came along as well. So I did have 3 bags that are very practical and then 3 bags that are more fun, and each one of them I love actually quite a bit. So I would recommend all of them. Hopefully that's not very unhelpful. I hope that would encourage you, you know, if you had any one of these bags in mind, or if you wanted to venture out and have some fun and you're in the similar situation where all of the bags you own is an everyday bag and you wanted something a bit different, a bit more fun, a bit of like something that reflects on your character, I guess. So yeah, I think that was a good year for me in terms of that. And for next year, I think I'm not going to take a break on bags, I don't think. I'm still scrolling the websites every day to see if there's a bag I want, but I did see the Acne Masubi bag that I really like, and I might go for that sometime this year. But to be honest with you, I'm quite happy with my collection as it stands. I have about 15 bags. I can show you guys like all of them and my thoughts on each of them, and they vary from, you know, the very high end to kind of lower contemporary end, and I use them kind of all the same way. So I hope this video was helpful. If you were looking at any specific bag and you wanted a little bit more details on it, let me know and I'll get back to you on that, and I'll do a specific review video on the Coach backpack and the Loewe puzzle, just because those two are the more practical, popular bags that I've seen, and I just wanted to share my own experience on that, so that will be an upcoming video next. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!